to part 5 with how to play percussion. We're going to start with some music notation and some music concepts. Really important things to learn, so join me on page 5 of your book. So the first thing we're going to learn about is the staff. The staff is 5 lines and 4 spaces used for writing music. And this is where we start to put all the other things on that we're going to learn down here to help us understand what to do when we play music. This next thing is called the treble clef. It's also known as the G clef. It's called the G clef because this little loop here is circling the second line. And that's telling us that that second line will be a G. So it will always be a G on that second line. And so that's why we call it a G clef, also known as the treble clef. For percussion, you're going to also have this other clef called this it says neutral clef, and sometimes we even call it a percussion clef. And it just has a couple lines here. Basically, because if you're playing a snare drum or any other instrument that doesn't play specific notes, it doesn't really matter if there's sharps or flats or anything because they won't affect you. So sometimes for percussionists you'll see this as well, or you'll see this treble clef. Okay. So next thing is a time signature. It tells us how many beats are in a measure. That's the top number. So in this case 4. And what kind of notes get 1 beat, and that's this bottom number. So it's 4/4 or 4 quarters. So a quarter note gets the beat in 4/4 time. Then we have this the bar line. Bar line, this is a bar line, and they divide the staff into measures, which is the distance between two bar lines. Okay, so that's a measure. In this example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 measures. And then we have a double bar line, and that's the end of a section of music. Okay, the bottom of page 5, if you're looking at the mallets portion of your book, talks about the musical alphabet, and the musical alphabet uses only the letters A through G, and then those are used to name the notes on the staff in line space order. For example, if you look down here, you have an A, and then it just goes in alphabetical order: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Remember that G on the G clef, second line? That's the G. And then it repeats: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and so forth. Okay, so really it's fairly easy to learn the names of the notes on the staff as long as you remember this one with 2 ledger lines down is an A, and it just goes A through G and repeats. Sometimes in music we learn about face in the space, or F-A-C-E on the spaces of the staff, so face in the space. Or this on the lines, every good boy does fine, or Elvis's guitar broke down Friday, or every good boy deserves fudge, or there's 100 of those different sayings. And that helps us remember the names of the notes on the lines or on the spaces. And that's helpful, but I find that it's easier just to remember the alphabet because you already know the alphabet. And these don't help us with the notes that are below or above the staff on these ledger lines, which are used to extend the staff. So like this A and this B and this C are on ledger lines. And this A and B and C are on ledger lines. So these don't help us with that. So I just think that's a little more helpful. But whichever works for you to remember the names of the notes is fine with me. On the bottom of page 5 on the percussion side, or on the snare drum side, it talks about percussion is sometimes written on a single line staff, like this one here. Sometimes there's the five lines that you use, like if you're playing mallets, or sometimes for other instruments, and sometimes it's just one line and just has the rhythm that you play on there. Just depends on the composer and the music. Now on the bottom of page 5, it also has this thing called the rhythm tree, and it's just helping you understand how rhythm works a little bit. It has a whole note, and the whole note's divided into 2 notes, which are 2 half notes, and those are divided into 2 notes, and those are quarter notes, and that's divided into 2 notes, which are 1/8 notes, and then 16th notes. So it's just showing you how that kind of is broken down, and we'll discuss that more in class. So make sure you're familiar with and that you understand everything on page 5. For you, percussionists, you've got things to understand for mallets and things to understand for general percussion. So there's a lot there for you to learn. And so it's important that you go through all of that. Now, if you've had piano experience in the past, then it'll be really helpful, and a lot of the stuff you'll already kind of have a good idea of or a good concept of. But if not, you're really going to need to do some studying. At times, possibly making flashcards to help remember certain concepts and things. But just it's really important. If you have any questions about that or questions on any other video, a couple things I would tell you. Number one, use your resources. So page 2, 3, 4, and 5 in your book all go through a lot of things: how to hold your sticks, how to set up your instrument. It goes through all those things we just talked about on page 5. Go back, use those pages as a reference. In the book, on the top of the page, you have each page has a lot of information, and we'll talk about that in the next video. And but also, there's a couple other ways you can get a hold of me. You can put a comment in this video, and I will help out. I can respond to that. You can email me, or you can talk to me in class if you're my students. If you happen to be watching this and you're somebody else, you can just put a comment in the video, and I'd be happy to help you out as much as I can. So. But use all of your resources, your band director, your book, anybody else around you that knows music, and try and figure out those things as best as you can. Join me on the next video, and we'll keep learning some more stuff. See you then.